Playboy, you made that beat.
It's your boy E. Tally, high school hoops talk with the talking heads. Again, I am E. Tally with.
This is Mike Daniel Jr. of Alamo City All Stars, proud supporter of Super Sports Media.
Mike, great weekend. Let's chop this up real quick. Let's cut up what happened this weekend. What games did you watch? What you got? And let's go.
Whole bunch of basketball happened this weekend.
Let's talk about it.
I don't even know where to begin. We had some highlighted games that we were waiting for. Those games happened. Upsets per se happened. Good basketball. Starting from the top, Harlan, they took care of Lanier, they took care of Brandeis, but then they lost to Reagan, they lost to Clark. Clemens, they lost to Warren, beat Jefferson, lost to Churchill, beat Lanier. Right? And so then you go down the list. You know, you got Brandeis, they beat Soto, lost to Harlan, lost to Vets, then beat Warren. Cole beat Great Hearts Northern Oaks, lost to St. Anthony. O'Connor lost to Bernie. Vets beat Lee, lost to Reagan, beat Brandeis, lost to Jay. So we had some basketball going on this weekend, man. We had some basketball going on, that's for sure.
And I think, did I pull it up the right one? No, it's the wrong one.
That's the most recent one that we.
Oh, this is one. Okay, because I out loud Great Hearts, right, and Betson, right?
Yeah, that's right. The most recent one as of Wednesday.
Before, okay. So real quick, I don't know if you were watching, but Brennan took their first two losses this weekend. Again, out of town. So those don't count to
us. But those are major players they were playing.
They're big dogs. So again, it is what it is. Antonian played. I think they did take an L this weekend, if I'm correct.
No, they took an L in the championship. They knocked off Madison, they knocked off Highlands, knocked off Marshall,
but not to
a championship.
Not to a San Antonio team. So again, I want to make sure I say it the right way though. So I'm not trying to make it like, hey, they lost to somebody, so their ranking was in jeopardy. If I'm correct, Steele just played one game, I believe.
They waxed Harlandale.
Yeah, they played Harlandale. They played Harlandale and kept it moving. Same thing for Wagner. I think Wagner went out of town, didn't they?
Or they? I did not have any updates on Wagner this weekend. Okay. I had Wagner's off this weekend.
Okay, and then we had now John Jay. They played
took
well.
Care of Churchill. Weekend. Yeah, they took care of Churchill, Warren, and Vets. They played some good basketball this weekend.
Then, if I'm correct, they did lose, but they lost to a non-San Antonio team. Correct?
That is accurate.
So now Alamo Heights again.
Same thing. They went 2-1 on the weekend, and all three of their schools were no San Antonio schools. Had some good victories though against a couple of schools that they played though.
Judson out of town.
Did not play.
Right. Now,
they didn't play.
Oh, they didn't play at all. Okay. And Harlan.
Yeah, Harlan had a full weekend of games.
Clemens, my dear Clemens Buffaloes. They're gonna have to move to the right here, unfortunately.
Man, it's crazy.
Go ahead.
I don't know what Robert Bell saw in his group the past couple of days in practice, but he sent me a funny message messing with me. He was like, get number 9 out of there. And I'm like, who the hell is number 9 that he don't or get when whatever get number 9 out of there and I go to listen, it's him. And so I don't know if he saw his boys wasn't going to be ready for this weekend. I don't know. But hopefully they can, get the wheels back on and get back on track because where I have them right now for Sunday's list, they are not number 9 anymore.
All right, look like TMI took care of some business this weekend. They didn't play any San Antonio teams.
They did not, but they took care of their business. They did.
And then Davenport, they're still on the road.
Did not play. They didn't play. They didn't play this weekend.
I thought they played Friday night. I thought they played their Thursday, Friday game. Yeah, it's only one game, if I'm correct, for Davenport. Let me check. Because Thursday, Friday, Saturday are still games. I want to say I thought they played like just a regular. They did kind of like with Davenport here. Basketball schedule. Yeah, they played Breckenridge. They played a non-district game deal against Breckenridge. Because remember, everybody used to have the Thursday. No, my bad. That was on the 3rd. So yeah, you're right. You're right. This is as of that. So they didn't play this weekend. Yeah, you're right. I thought it said something else. So Davenport didn't play. Clark played.
Clark had a big weekend.
Clark played.
Clark had a really big weekend. Clark beat Jefferson, Warren, and Harlan.
Clark out there taking care of business. What's his name? Real quick, I just got off the phone with Rich just a few seconds ago. He says he wants to see them play one more time. He's almost a believer in what Clark can do.
He wants to see Clark play one more time?
Yeah, because Clark, taking care of business, and he just want to make sure, hey, he's saying what he see. He said he wanted to make sure. He said, hey, man, Clark is a good team. They're a really good team because they lost the Parish, Popsicle, lost to those guys. And then other than that, they took care of business. They lost to Bernie Champions, though, the day before.
Yeah, that was
the 3rd. So.
Right.
But other than that, like you said, Jefferson, Warren, and Harlan. Central Catholic, did you watch them at all?
Central Catholic took care of business. They beat Breckenridge, Southwest, and Marshall. They took care of business this week. And they did take an L, but it was a non-San Antonio. So I'm just noting the San Antonio battles.
Correct.
As far as, for ranking purposes.
The Rattlers took care of business, if I'm correct?
Who?
The Rattlers.
Oh, man, they took care of Sam Houston. They took care of Vets. And then they finished off the weekend taking care of Harlan. They had a hell of a weekend, those Rattlers did. Yes, sir. And they definitely are going to be rewarded once we break down our new list and spar about that in a minute.
Because they lost to the same team that Clark lost.
Yeah.
That team from Dallas was just wiping us out, huh?
That Parish Episcopal, yes, sir.
Okay.
Piper took care of Buda Johnson. Bernie Champion had a hell of a freaking doggone weekend down in the Valley. They went 5-1, lost in the championship game.
Okay. Who they lose to?
Oh man, hold on. I forgot the name of them, but give me 1 second. I'll tell you. I will tell you.
I swear.
Alexander.
Laredo Alexander.
Laredo Alexander.
Yeah, they're good. Well, the next two teams really, I wish Johnson would have started the way they're playing, but they're hitting their stride right now. They got a big
they went for.
They got a big test this Friday coming up. It's our game of the week. They're playing Antonian. Now, if they can pull that off right there, hey man.
Well, I mean, even with the big one that's coming, right, man? Antonian's number 2 on our list and has been number 2 and maintained number 2 this whole season. But looking at Johnson's weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
They took care of Langham Creek. They took care of Fort Bend Clements. They took care of Clear Falls. They took care of Iowa Colony, and then lost by 3 to Fort Bend Hightower. So they're up in H Town playing some competition. To go 4-1 on the weekend, that's losing the championship. That's a huge weekend, and they only lost by 3. They didn't get ran. So not being at the game to know what really happened, but to just see that final score of 36-33, that's a great weekend of basketball. 4-1 losing the championship. That's a good way to finish basketball.
And then St. Anthony's, they played the small school tournament where a bunch of 3As, 4As were there, and they took care of business. They really
They did. Notable, they knocked off Cole.
They did knock off Cole, but that's just it. Just not just knocking off Cole, just the way they beat Lavernia also. So Cole and Lavernia they beat. I know we don't have Lavernia on here, but again, Lavernia is a tough team, and they play real well together. And seeing them, but seeing St. Anthony's, they're going to surprise a bunch of people because they got like 4 dudes that can probably go play on anybody's roster right now and help contribute right now. So guard play, of course, like you always say, guard play rules the world. But watching those guys play, man, again, it's a true. They're going to be different, and I hope everybody's keep those guys on your radar. Coach
Definitely.
Hernandez and Coach Vela, they're both doing a tremendous job with their group. I mean, I'm sorry, not Vela. I'm sorry, wrong person. I'm talking about Hernandez and Vela is the guys who hosted the tournament. I want to give them a shout out real quick. But what Coach BJ is doing over there, he's doing a good job.
No doubt. I mean, St. Anthony is one that, every time we talk about who do we not expect on this list, it's one of those they snuck in and they are handling what we call business, that they are handling business. I wish we can get them matched up with some of these other San Antonio teams to get a good gauge. You know what I'm saying? See them against Clark or Reagan or Burton Champion type schools.
Yeah.
To get a gauge. But I mean, for what they're facing, man, kudos. They handle business. I wish they would have updated that Lavernia squad. I didn't know the outcome of it. They hadn't updated it yet.
Yeah, they did beat them. Like I said, I talked to Coach Escobar. He said he was going to go ahead and update his match prep and put players' names. I didn't know his players. I don't know them, but I just know a few of them because one went to Warren and then one went to Roosevelt. So I knew those 2 guys personally.
Got you.
But I didn't know the rest of his roster. It's like I'm trying to do a nice report for him. I couldn't do it because I didn't know the players. So, and it was after the fact, that I got the information. So I was like, I couldn't just reach out to and call them and say, hey, who's so-and-so? So, but again, that's why I always say that's important for guys to update their match prep. And that kind of segues after we finish this into my next topic real quick about how important it is to update. But let's finish this off first. South San, how'd they do this weekend? I did not see anything about those guys.
They went 2-2 on the weekend, and their tournament that they ran had no San Antonio schools, but they did go 2-2 on the weekend wherever they were playing at.
And I know Brandeis took care of business, I believe, right?
Brandeis had a balanced weekend. They had a 2-2 weekend, right?
Yeah.
They beat Soto, right?
And
then
Soto
they lost
was
to Harlan.
Knocking people off though.
They beat Soto. They lost to Harlan, lost to Vets, and then beat Warren. So they had a roller coaster of a weekend. Vets took care of business against them. Like this weekend when we get to Vets. Matter of fact, let's just talk about Vets since we're on Brown. I know we're going down the list, but Vets beat Lee, lost to Reagan, beat Brandeis, lost to Jay. So when you look at Vets' 2 losses, right? Those top 10 losses. They knocked off Brandeis and knocked off Lee. So that what we've been saying all year. It's going to be a fun season. Lots of San Antonio schools facing each other. This is on the cusp right now, and so good basketball, good games are happening. Can't take any nights off, man. Not at all.
Right. Well, that's what you want. You want to. There's certain games you want to win, certain games you want to lose. You don't want to lose any, but there's certain games you're going to lose. And that's just it. And that's what they're doing. Like, for example, they lose, talking about vets, they lose to Reagan, but bounce back and beat a Brandeis. And prior to losing to Reagan, they beat Lee. And then they beat Bernie like they were supposed to. And but lose to Jay. So again,
Right.
the games they're supposed to win and lose, they are. Because at the same time, again, why is Jay so high? Think about it. Jay's been top 6, 7 for the whole start of this. So it's not like Jay's making us look bad. And that's the part I'm really excited about. The top 5 schools have made us look like we know just a little bit what we're talking about. Just a little bit.
Hey, look, I was going through the list, right? And I had to get Harlan and Clemens out the top 10. They didn't have decent weekends, and I'm shifting everything up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I get to number 19. And I'm like, start scratching my head because, Brandeis beat Soto, lost to Harlan, lost to Vets, beat Warren, Cole, beat Great Hearts, Northern Oaks, lost to St. Anthony, O'Connor, lost to Bernie, East Central, beat St. Andrews, Great Hearts, Northern Oaks, beat Bandera, lost to Cole, Vets, beat Lee, lost to Reagan, beat Brandeis, lost to Jake. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait for Eric to finish out how the hell we gonna finish out this final 6. The first 16, the first 17 was pretty easy. And last night, I'm like, yeah, I'm away from my partner in crime on this one.
Hey, listen, I hate to do it. I hate to do it to him, man. And it's just Great Hearts is first team out, buddy. I hate to do it to him.
They met O'Connor.
Well, no, Great Hearts. The only reason why I say Great Hearts because so let me backstory real quick. He had a chance not to play Cole, but to play someone else. But he said, "Hey, I want to play Cole." Yeah, exactly. And in my mind,
I was thinking, see them later on in the playoffs.
Well, no, this is okay. Real quick, let me set the table. First, again, another shout out to my guys from Lytle High School, the boys basketball coach, Coach Hernandez, and Coach Vela, for having the small tournament, hosting small tournament teams. Vela, excuse me. So with that being said, they had 12 teams, and Great Hearts and Cole was two of the 12 teams. So with that being said, the table was set for where they can maybe see each other or maybe not. But Coach from Great Hearts was like, yeah, let's do it. I was like, oh, hey, Coach, yeah, you normally don't do that. He's like, why not? I was like, cuz, man, that's just one of those things. You just respect the playing the team prior to. But hey, I guess you want that smoke. So he said, yeah.
He I can't say this on air, but he found out.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say the first 2, but he found out.
I totally understood what he was trying to do. He wanted to, Coach Rogers wanted to kind of gauge his team. And I get it. Cole historically has been a powerhouse. So they played each other going into the round of, champions and everything, bracket play. And again, he lost. So now the part that's bad is the fact he lost, and then he lost the very next game against Crystal City. So he took 2 back-to-back L's. Yeah. It wasn't just the fact you lost to Cole. It was the fact you lost 2 back-to-back. And then, I was trying to say, hey, man, they had a pretty decent schedule. But now when you start looking at your 2 L's, the 2 you lose to, and your best win is against probably a Bandera, probably. That's probably your best win. Yeah, exactly. So what do? That's why I say you first team out right now.
I'm with you, and I'm gonna follow that with second team out has got to be O'Connor, and let me tell you why. O'Connor's school's one of my guys, but they had a terrible week last week. Right. They got ran out of Harlan Gym by Soto on Tuesday, and then turned around and lost a dogfight to a tough as nails Bernie team that's been up and down this season. And so for me, unfortunately, you got to get that Bernie win. And let me tell you why you got to get that Bernie win. They have Brennan and Harlan next week. You have to get that Bernie win.
Coach,
and so go ahead.
Let me interrupt you here real quick. Let me stop you real quick. And this is the same thing I would tell the Great Hearts coach. Certain wins you got to have, and you got to check off, like just be proudful of those wins. you can't let a 4A that's a 5A now beat you in that form. And again, I'm not being disrespectful to any 4A or 5A schools that play the 6As. I'm not. I'm just telling you that by the number game of how it's supposed to play itself out.
I'm with you. And that's why when you brought up that Great Hearts is first out, I gotta go with O'Connor's right behind them. They have
Right.
I love you, but you gotta go. Like
Right.
you have to have those games.
Right.
You can't, and it dates back to the conversation on Tuesday. Remember we talked Tuesday night. Through 3 quarters against Soto, they only scored 16 points, and then they put up 24 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You would have hoped that they would have carried that into Friday's game. Looks like they did not. And so, unfortunately, O'Connor, you guys got to go.
Yeah. Yeah. That's sad. You gotta win those. And again, it is what it is. But real quick, let's go ahead and finish it off. And then last team we're gonna talk about is I guess the Hornets over there at East Central. How they do this weekend?
Yeah, they took care of St. Andrews. They took care of St. Andrews this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah. They handled their business. Yeah, they handled their business.
And then the last thing, we're gonna wrap it up because we got a few minutes and we got to get Coach Bernal on the show.
Yes,
my last thing I just want to mention, and I find it like one of the things that people got to understand and understand and do for us. It helps not just us, but helps others out. So, quick story. There's a school here in San Antonio that they're a TAP school, but they've been making sure they update all of their Max Prep stuff. So the kid's been having a heck of a season already. He's averaging 20 plus points a game, so many steals, so many assists, and all that. So by the coaches updating his stuff, he's allowing others to see these numbers and start to gain some interest. They're not looking. They don't care about the win-loss record, but they're just seeing the strength of schedule and then seeing the fact that these guys are playing, and the kid is averaging 20 plus points a game, and he's doing it in a very unselfish manner. So I say all this just to say, hey man, we talk about doing this for the kids and making sure we want the kids to shine. So here's the greatest opportunity for us to make sure we do that, and we give the light of the kids best opportunity to be seen. That's all I want to say, man.
Hey, I support that fully.
So you want to close real quick?
These next 2 weeks is crucial. No, hold on. Yeah, these next 2 weeks is crucial. I think there's 3 to 4 basketball games, all district, all relevant, all matter. I hope all students take care of their grades, and good luck these next 2 weeks because it matters. Every night, every game, every possession, every play, every practice matters.
Facts. And I just want to again give a shout out to the Lytle basketball head coach and assistant coach out there in the boys team, Coach Hernandez and Vela. Did I say it right, Vela?
Yeah, Coach Artie Vela. Now let's get it right. We got to get the full name because of who he is. That's Artie Vela Jr. We wouldn't expect anything less than greatness, being who his pops is, And so he's following right along in those same footsteps.
Yeah, again, I just want to give him props. They know I'm talking about the dad as far as because they know who he's at. He's at Jefferson, but still, I want to make sure I just give him props as far as one inviting us out to be part of their tournament. I got a nice write up about what happened this past weekend at the Lytle small. They want to call it the small teams tournament because again, the small teams they gave a lot of. It was out there trying their best and competing. I got to see a lot of good basketball from those guys that we don't really get a chance to see. And my full report to come out here tomorrow, no later than one of the actual tournament pieces already out on the website. I'm doing another one to go over the championship. It was between Lavernia High School and the St. Anthony's, and St. Anthony's took down Lavernia. It was a well-played game. Again, it was a championship game that it happened the perfect way. So I want to say kudos to those guys for inviting us and just having us out there. Thank you again. Signing off, Mike.
Hey, see you in a little bit.